How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to M&M Aquascaping. Mitch, Matt. Today we are going to be looking at my 4-foot aquarium with angelfish and rainbow fish. These are my dogs, Frank and Bella, by the way. Yeah, we're just going to be talking through everything I've done, setting it up wise, what filters we've got, how I clean it, how I maintain it, what fish I have. So yeah.
Right, first impressions from me, I'm absolutely blown away by this tank. I think Mitch has done a cracking job. I can't stop staring at it. It's amazing. Mitch, talk me through the tank.
So we've got a 4-foot by 1.5 foot by 2 foot high. This is a dual tank. It comes with a lid, but I took the lid off because I prefer the open top, open light at the top. We have a Superfish 131 4-foot light. We have a FX4 in here. We have an FX4 running with the inlet and outlet on the left-hand side of the tank. We have a Aqua 1 filter on this side, Aqua 1 1400 with the lily pipes on top with the skimmer.
You've got 2 filters running.
Yeah,
that's
two
why
filters.
It's so clear.
2 filters. I did have the FX4 originally on its own, but I had that one sitting in the garage and I liked the look of the lily pipes, and I couldn't get the lily pipes to fit onto the FX4, so I said 2 filters it is. I also have CO2 running, as you can see. That was a bit of a heat of the moment kind of decision. I wasn't really sure whether CO2 was for me, but I see that Colombo have this CO2 reactor refillable can. So what you do is you have these refillables, and you literally, once every 2 months, you just refill it with the components A and B, and that is literally as simple as that. And one refill normally lasts me about a month and a half because I use so little of the CO2 I use. It's on one bubble a second.
It's definitely working.
Yes,
Looks amazing.
It's brought out the reds in the flowers a lot, and the plants, sorry, a lot better.
How did you start with the tank?
So the substrate, I started off with this Tropica substrate nutrients for aquariums, literally a tiny thinnest layer right on the bottom, just at the front edge, just along this front, and then at the back I used some pea shingle from just a local hardware store, just to raise up the back edge. I think it was only 1 bag I used, just to give me a little bit of height. And then I bagged up, I used some mesh bags and bagged up some Fluval, is this Fluval? Yep, Fluval aqua soil.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
I will overlay a picture of the setup on the substrate, and I also crushed in some root tabs in each bag, and I think there's 10 bags aligned along the back and centre of the aquarium. And then the sand is just your basic sand from any aquatic shop. It's just fine, I believe it's beach sand. I think it said beach sand on it. Yeah, it's just fine beach sand. And then I have these decorative stones I put all the way around the rock. So I'll overlay some pictures of when I set it up, but they've sort of been swallowed up by the sand. because there's so many cories in here, they like sifting through it.
Alright, so talk me through the thought process of the Aquascape.
Alright, so the Aquascape, so this was my first ever aquascaping tank. I've had fish tanks in the past, no real plants, and this was the first one where I thought I'm going to go all out and give it a try with the real aquascaping. So the rocks are mountain rocks, they're called mountain rocks. They all have like that sort of broken up edges and different contrast to each of them, because I liked the colour of them because they matched well with the sand. They also look very good with the colour of the wood. The wood, I see both of these pairs together in a shop, and I laid them on the floor, and I thought, yeah, it works out right with the size there. It don't take up too much swim room, like there's a nice big trunk at the bottom, and then just loads of tiny little branches that they can swim through, hide from other fish, and they have their own privacy in there.
I really like the way this one loops over like that. It's
that's
really
why
nice.
I had to kill it. And then the actual scaping side of it, I literally just come in and I laid all the rocks down, I looked at it, I stood back for 10 minutes, had a look, and then I chucked the wood in. Once I got all the wood and the rocks in the position where I thought I liked it, obviously I knew there was a lot of plants going in, so I knew that most of the gaps would get covered up by plants anyway. So I glued it all down, left it for a whole day, made it solid, and I glued it down with this cyanoacrylate glue, I think it's upstairs. But yeah, I literally just bunged it all together, literally winged it. I didn't have any thought process whatsoever. All I knew was I wanted one this side, having different angles, like we've got some going this way, up. Like there's loads of different angles. I've got Anubias glued to most parts just because it hides.
Talk me through the plants that you've got. You've got so many plants in here, it looks amazing. Talk me through the plants.
So the plants, at the time, when buying the plants, obviously I'd done all my research on how to grow the plants in the aquarium, and all little things like that, but I didn't look, when I was buying the plants, I didn't look into the hardness of how they were to grow. I just looked at the ones I liked and thought, they'll look nice in my tank. So I've got a big Anubias here. This is just literally wedged in between a rock and a bit of wood. That's growing lovely. The leaves are really strong. And then I have some small Anubias nanos glued to the rocks here, and then some over there as well. So at the back here we've got some Limnophilia. I think, yeah, Limnophilia heterophilia. That grows so fast. I've trimmed this 3 times, and every time I trim it, I replant. So what I do is I wrap some fine filter floss around and then wedge it into a weight. I have a weight down here I can show you. I'll show you in a second. But I put a weight in it, and then I just wedge it down into the sand, and then it grows all the way back up again, and I trim it all again. So I wasn't expecting it to be literally the whole background covered in Limnophilia, but I like it, and I like the way it grows, the colours it comes out with. So I'm really happy with that.
Cleans the water really well as well, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it takes a lot of nutrients out that are wasted from the plants that don't take it. And I did have some floating plants, but they just overtook the whole tank, so I took them out. So I'm happy that I've got this Limnophilia in there because it takes a lot of the nutrients out. I also have some Vallisneria. I've got twisted Vallisneria, I've got straight Vallisneria, all dotted about around the background because I want it to go up and curve over to the right. That's my plan.
Yeah, it's already starting to, it's going to look crazy.
Yeah, it grows really fast. And then I have some Java moss wrapped around on some of the logs. I've got some here and then some up the top here. It does need trimming, but I've just ordered some small scissors so I can get in there nice and easy, because it's not the easiest to cut. I also have some microphenum that's here and down the front here as well, but as I found out by owning angelfish, they do like to eat this, so they literally strip all the leaves off of the stem. It does grow back, like I'll trim this down halfway and then it will all grow back again, but it's good nutrients for the fish, so I don't mind them eating that. Then also I have some Ladwigia palustrius super red. That's these red plants you can see here, here, They grow really nice, and I'm treating them like, this is why I put the CO2 on, to get the reds really coming out.
Yeah, they look lovely.
Yeah. And then I also have some Eliocharis. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but this long grass here, I trim that once a week and it grows back so fast, and just about there, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's starting to spread through that rock there. A couple of strands you can see coming through. So when I trim that, I'm now going to start planting it in the foreground, just so I can get a little bit of colour in the foreground. Also at the back, I also have some Rotala orange juice. This tall plant here at the back with the 4 leaves either side, that's orange Rotala orange juice. That grows really nice too. I like that one.
So how long have you actually had this set up for? When did you set it up?
I set this up about 6 weeks ago, I'd say.
6 weeks. And you've got all this growth already?
Yeah, and I've trimmed it twice. I've trimmed it twice as well.
Yeah. Wow.
Because there's such a thick layer of nutrients, I never really gravel clean, because I leave all the nutrients and all the fish waste sink into the substrate, so it builds more nutrients for the plants. Hence the CO2, the 2 filters. Like there's a lot going on. I did go through a phase of white fizz, or white fuzz, I think it's called, in the second week of having it. Like obviously there was no fish in there other than some shrimps, I think, in the first 2 weeks. And I went through a white fuzz phase where all of this wood, you might be able to see like the veins of it still there a little bit, because I can't get the toothbrush in there. But
I like that.
Yeah, that's why I've left it.
I like that on the wood. It gives it a bit more character.
But yeah, the white fuzz, that went after 3 or 4 days of just letting the tank cycle itself, and then once it went through the white fuzz phase, all the plants went through a diatom phase. So obviously all of these plants you can see here are literally getting to the end of the diatom phase. So once I trim all these up, they'll then grow back again a lot better and a lot better colour, because the last month, the last 2 or 3 weeks, they've had diatoms covering them, so they haven't been advanced to the light as much as I would like them. But once they got over the diatom phase, I had a little hair algae growing all the way around these logs and twigs, and I just turned the temperature up to 27, 28, left it for 3 or 4 days, kept doing regular water changes like twice a week. And then after a week of that, all the hair algae's gone as well. So now I'm 6 weeks in, and I believe the cycle's pretty much over. So it's now just letting the tank thrive and letting the fish do what they got to do and letting the plants do what they got to do.
I'm really excited to see how this tank grows out, seeing these plants develop. I think you've done a really, really, really good job. Really impressed. Fish look amazing. Speaking of,
so the
Mitch,
fish.
talk us through the fish.
So the fish, we have a very wide range of rainbow fish. So we have some Bosemani rainbow fish here. These are males. The females are dotted around somewhere. You can't really see them because they're a bit smaller. We have a big group of 6 dwarf neon rainbows. They come in tiny. They was literally like 2 or 3 centimetres. They was tiny. We also have 3 red rainbow fish. These are very juvenile as well, so they haven't got any colour on them yet, but they will do in the next year or so. They'll be coloured up and nice and red. We have a group of turquoise rainbows. There's a couple of good sizes and a couple of female younger ones there. They're nice. We like those ones. Also have 2 large, extra large angelfish.
They're lovely. I love these 2 angels.
I believe these are marble. However, I haven't found an angelfish that look like these.
This one loves the camera.
Yeah, they do. They're very active. And then I have 4 baby marble angelfish. So I have one here. And then there's one just at the back. You might not be able to see him. And then the other 2 are just here. We got those about 5 or 6 days ago. We went to a fish shop and my girlfriend really likes the angelfish, so I treated her to get some of them because she really likes them. And then we have 2 cherry barbs. They come in. I bought them right at the start when I bought some shrimps, just to get the tank into action and with the beneficial bacteria and things all like that.
Tank, yeah.
So I got them in there. We put this fish in there today. This is a rainbow fish, but I don't know the name.
Western Australian.
Yeah, Western Australian rainbow fish. So that was pretty cool. I haven't seen an orange one before, so had to pick him up. And then I have 2 green tiger barbs just floating about. I have 15 cories now. So I have 6 bronze cories, 6 panda cories, and 3 gold laser cories. They do a great job of cleaning the sand. They come up to the front all the time. They're not shy at all.
Oh, they're all
There's a gold laser cory just round here, if you can see it.
Yeah.
We also have some epistogrames. So we have 2, what are these ones, Matt?
Hong Shloi.
Yeah, Hung Shloi epistogrames. We have another epistograme there. I never remember the names of these ones.
A cockatoo.
Yeah, a Co2, and his female's just in the back there. It's just swum away around the back.
Just missed her.
Yep. And then
that's the Borelli, right?
Yep. 2, a male and a female Borellis. And then I believe that's it. The dogs love it. They sit up on the sofa and watch the tank all the time. So yeah, I believe that's it for the fish. Oh no, that's not. We've got a super red bristlenose just there, if you can catch him. He's new. I've got 2 common bristlenoses. There's one on the wood there. There's 2 female.
Catch them before they swim away.
There's 2 female commons, and then I have a snow white male bristlenose, which is quite large, and I'll overlay a picture of him because he doesn't come out a lot. I think he's round the back with his female. I'm hoping to see a little bit of breeding with them because it would be nice to see that the fish are really enjoying it in here as much as I think they are. I believe the fish are really enjoying it. I test it every day pretty much, and the water's always great because of the filtration and the CO2 checkers at the back, and that always tells me that I'm not overdosing with CO2. I also have a group of 10 Otto Cinclis. They do a great job of cleaning the wood. I have a group of 4 of these snails, the rounded ones. And then I have 4 assassin snails, but they normally bury themselves in the sand, so you don't see them a lot. They just come out, stick themselves on the glass now and then, and away they go. But yeah, that's the fish. Thank you so much everyone for watching, we really appreciate it. We've just started this channel, really appreciate any advice you could give us. We're going to be doing so many more build videos, fish room tours, things like that, etc. We've got a better tank, Aquascape, coming up very soon, so watch out for that. Make sure you click subscribe and the ring button. Thank you very much.